Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
You could hear all the cheering, and then everybody was like, yeah!
A South Bay community is celebrating tonight after fighting a rule that would have allowed the HOA to enter their homes. Good evening, I'm Steve Atkinson. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura was at that HOA meeting in Eastlake where the invasive plan fell apart.
And many called this a victory for the community. Reporters were not allowed inside the HOA meeting, but people tell us it was packed in there. Nearly 200 people, and an overwhelming number of them were against the parking guidelines. In nearly 17 years of living in this Eastlake neighborhood,
it's easier to park outside in the driveway.
Maria Sanchez has never used her garage for her cars.
We always had the food table, and then right now we're having moving issues like furniture, trying to get rid of, and it's just a storage because there's not much storage in the houses.
Like many of the other homeowners on Chula Vista's Eastlake 3 community, the Sanchez's cars are parked on their driveway and on their street. But recently, the Homeowners Association wanted to crack down on all the street parking. They sent homeowners proposed updates to the community rules, saying they can park in their driveways and streets only if they have a car sitting in their garage. They also wanted the right for the HOA management company to perform garage inspections to make sure everyone was following the rules.
Oh, I wouldn't let them come in unless with a warrant.
That's how many felt. Many of her neighbors packed the HOA meeting to sound off against the changes, and they got the outcome they wanted.
You could hear all the cheering, and then everybody was like, yeah!
Pretty much everybody said, you are not coming into my house.
Yeah, it's a win. They listened and were striking the parking guidelines completely.
An outcome Maria Sanchez was relieved with.
I hope it stays like that way.
People tell us the HOA still wants to address the issue of street parking, but they will be seeking community input for solutions. They hope to come up with a plan in the near future. In Eastlake, Anthony Pura, 10 News.
And tonight, restrictions just got tighter on the types of animals sold in National City pet stores. Our 10 News reporter Matt Boone joins us live outside City Hall. And Matt, this new law will ensure dogs come from a bona fide shelter.
Yeah, Steve, like a new California law that went into effect the beginning of this year, this law here in National City would allow pet stores to have dogs up for adoption that they got from legitimate rescues and shelters. However, the new law would target their profits, not allowing them to charge a fee for those adoptions, effectively gutting the current business model of the two existing pet stores here in National City. Inside National City Puppies, customers can purchase 8 to 12-week-old purebred and designer mix puppies. In order to comply with the new California law, the dogs are listed as rescues from places like Bark Adoptions in Menifee.
Now with the introduction of AB 45, they have to come from a rescue. So, they're coming from the rescue, and that's all the information we have.
David Salinas is the manager of National City Puppies.
We are complying with AB 45. All the postcards are on our display.
He claims he doesn't know where Bark Adoptions gets the puppies, but a 10 News investigation earlier this year found that some of the dogs were coming from out-of-state brokers with ties to commercial breeders, a process the San Diego Humane Society has called puppy laundering.
Go into these stores and they purchase these dogs thinking, well, it must be a good dog, it's expensive.
Leslie Davies is an animal rights activist with the group Not One Animal Harmed. She says the National City Council did the right thing, voting 4-1 in favor of the new ordinance.
I am extraordinarily happy because I think that this is a very humane city.
Salinas called it an injustice and government overreach.
It's the American way to have your freedom to choose where to buy a puppy.
But Davies says there are still lots of options for people looking to buy specific pets.
But people can still go out and if they want to spend $5,000 on a dog, you can spend $5,000 on a dog, but you're not going to get a puppy mill dog. You can go to a reputable breeder and you can get any dog of your choosing.
Now, this was just the introduction of the ordinance. It still has to come back in front of the City Council next month for adoption before it goes into effect. Reporting live in National City, Matt Boone, 10 News.
Matt, thank you. The city of San Diego is threatening to kick out the scooter company Lime for not following the rules. But the company tells 10 News the city has cut off communication and claims it won't tell Lime what the company is doing wrong. In July, 10 News reported that Lime was found to have violated the city's new regulations to keep people safe. It was given 10 days to fix the problem, but a city spokesperson tells us that Lime was out of compliance again this month. Mayor Faulkner's office accuses the company of not limiting scooter speed in geofenced parts of the city, including Mission Beach, the boardwalk there, in Balboa Park. Lime claims it already fixed the problem.
I really want to be compliant. I see us in the city being on the same side. We want safety for the riders, and we want options for the riders to get from point A to point B.
Mayor Faulkner has called for a hearing with Lime to discuss taking away the company's permit. San Diego police are warning people about two men posing as city employees trying to steal from an elderly person's home. Police say the men claim they work for the water department and wanted to come inside to check out the plumbing. While inside, police say the men stole jewelry and cash. The city wants to remind people its employees will never ask to come into your home unless you have made an appointment. The president is standing his ground tonight despite growing concern his trade war with China could hurt the economy. A new study today says the president's 10-point tariff on Chinese goods will cost American families an additional $1,000 each year. White House officials, they do tell ABC News that additional tax cuts are being considered.
We're looking at various tax reductions, but I'm looking at that all the time anyway, tax reductions. That's one of the reasons we're in such a strong economic position. We're right now the #1 country anywhere in the world by far.
The president promised tax cuts for the middle class ahead of last year's midterms, but he never followed through on the idea after Election Day. And new developments on the president's wish to buy Greenland. He canceled his trip to Denmark after its prime minister called his interest in buying Greenland absurd. Denmark owns Greenland, which is an autonomous country. The president brought up the idea on several occasions, including over the weekend, but the prime minister was not amused and says the country is not for sale. It's now unclear when or if the president his trip will be rescheduled. And new tonight, the San Diego County Democratic Party is endorsing Todd Gloria to become the city's next mayor. State Assemblyman Gloria received 71% of the votes during a private party meeting tonight in Kearney Mesa. That endorsement could give Gloria a fundraising boost. He's already secured some powerful endorsements, including one from Governor Gavin Newsom.
Whoever is endorsed, if we endorse, will be able to have the standard of the Democratic Party. We'll be able to coordinate with the party in terms of getting out the vote and educating voters.
That announcement also comes just days after a lawsuit was filed against Gloria for accepting political donations before filing his intent to run. San Diegans will cast their vote for a new mayor in November of 2020. All right, we're about to hit the hottest part of the week for some of us. Our meteorologist Angelica Campos has a look at the potential record-breaking heat out there.
That's right. It started today. Borrego Springs made it to 114, breaking the record of 111 set in 1982. And tomorrow we have a chance of breaking records also in Borrego Springs. An excessive heat warning is in effect from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Around the rest of the county, temperatures are going to be much hotter in our inland communities. Starting tonight, nice and cool, but tomorrow warming up quickly from 9 a.m. through noon, temperatures jumping more than 10 to 15 degrees.
It's getting hot quickly. Angelica, thank you. We'll see you in a bit. All right, today, family, friends, and colleagues got emotional as they shared stories about CHP officer Andre Moye Jr. He was honored with a procession and memorial service today after being killed by a gunman during a traffic stop in Riverside. As reporter Leticia Juarez shows us, he is now being remembered for his honesty, his kindness, and love of family.
Hundreds of CHP and law enforcement motorcycles helped escort the flag-draped casket of CHP officer Andre Moye. Officers from across the state and nation, along with their families and the public, packed Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside for an emotional 90-minute memorial service.
And to his siblings, he was like their second father. The kids looked up to Andre as their brother, their role model, their teacher, and their protector.
He would always brag to me on the phone and tell me how great his job was and how he can't wait until I get on one day.
In 2017, Moye joined the CHP. His love of dirt bikes helped him quickly to graduate to motorcycle patrol. Last Monday, Moye was shot and killed in the line of duty during a traffic stop after the driver pulled out a rifle and opened fire. His death marking the second in the line of duty death for the Riverside CHP office in just 4 months. In April, Sergeant Stephen Lycon was killed during a traffic stop. Officer Moye, who was one of the first officers on the scene, also acted as a pallbearer at his funeral.
Andre was the officer who arrested the drunk driver who took the life of Sergeant Lycon.
Moye was set to celebrate his 7th wedding anniversary. His wife Sarah took to the stage but had a friend read her statement.
He was truly my best friend, the love of my life. I just hope he knew how much I loved him.
Outside, a riderless horse and taps closed the service. Overhead, the CHP helicopter flew a missing man formation, with the crew of the Riverside Police Department veering off. It was the same crew members that helped to airlift Moye to the hospital after he was fatally wounded. The service ending with one final call.
Officer Andre Moye Jr. from the Riverside Area Office, end of watch, Monday, August 12th, 2019. May you rest in peace. We have the watch from here.
Quite a service there. That was Leticia Juarez reporting. The shooting suspect was identified as Aaron Luther. He was killed in that gun battle. Luther had a lengthy criminal record, and as a felon, he was not supposed to have a gun.